That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks, to I've genuinely never seen anything like this in my entire life edition of the Always Irish Show. As always, thanks for being here. You can find a program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. Notifications on that way you don't miss a thing. Twitter, search bar Always Irish or Always Irishing. Oh boy, have I been active on Twitter the last few days. Email's alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Send your Brian Kelly memes via email. I've got a bunch of those. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you can get it. If you don't want to see my face, nobody blames you. Notre Dame on SI. Read all about it. Patreon.com/alwaysirish. All-star team over there. Link in the description. Ooh, we have a good time. Thanks to everybody that's over there. What a community. All right. So everybody did their initial video, live stream, whatever, when the news broke that Brian Kelly was getting fired, right? So everyone did their little coverage, their own little take on it, getting your views, whatever. The news that Kelly's gone. I got to tell you, what has come after that, I found to be really interesting and really entertaining and a wild social experiment. And I have some theories here. Johnny's going to use that graduate degree in psychology. It's coming in useful in this discussion. And I think I have some answers to some questions we all have. I've never seen anything like this in sports in my life. If you have, tell me. I have sat here and thought, is there any other scenario in sports that I can remember that drew this kind of negative piling on one single guy coverage as the Brian Kelly news? I cannot remember one instance of anyone ever in sports getting fired and taking shots from every corner of the internet in the whole country. Nobody likes this guy. No one. No one likes him. I've never seen anything like it. Nothing I can imagine in my sports life comes close to the reaction from everyone about this. 9 years of doing content, 30 years really caring about football, all the social media stuff that I grew up in. I've never seen anything like it. It's unbelievable how universally disliked this person is. He's taking shots from everyone in every direction. Now all the LSU people have turned on him. We'll get to that. But now they've all turned on him. They're ripping him. Their former players are ripping him. Our former players are ripping him. All the media people all over the country, everyone is piling on this guy with every little thing he ever did that people don't like. I've never seen a guy be this universally disliked across the board before, ever. The leaks are out. This is how it goes. Same thing that happened with Brian Kelly. Once he left Notre Dame, the media felt free to unload all the behind-the-scenes stuff they heard in the stories and everything, and everything I was being told by them. That all came to light. And I don't really blame the media for not doing that early. What do you want? Think about it. You're covering Brian Kelly at Notre Dame. You have access to the interview room. That's how you make a living. And then you hear behind the scenes, he absolutely refuses to get on the jet and go recruit. And he just won't do it. And they can't make him do it. And you're going to say that, then you're done. Your career's over. You're not in the interview room. Your whole thing, he's going to ruin it. You're not allowed. And then, you can't do that. So what happens is the second these guys leave, the truth comes out. And the second Kelly left, all the stories came out about all the stuff he was pulling in Notre Dame. LSU's the same way, man. He leaves. People are coming out of the woodwork. Old former players from before Kelly's era that weren't welcome back during Kelly's era. It's ugly, man. It's really ugly. Everybody's speaking out. Everybody's got a Brian Kelly story. Everybody's speaking out. It's unbelievable. The media stories are coming out of the woodwork of all the different ways he was a jerk and everybody he did it to. I've never seen it. It's unbelievable how universally disliked this guy is. And now, here's what gets me. Now, I log into YouTube and I got the LSU media doing shows titled, "What Went Wrong?" Bro, how the hell would you know? Till 3 days ago, you guys were all kissing his ass. How would you know what went wrong? You were making excuses for the guy till 3 days ago. And I'm supposed to listen to you about what went wrong? The least objective people in the whole world on this issue. I'm going to listen to you tell me what went wrong. They were all covering for the guy till 3 days ago. Now they're experts on what went wrong. Unbelievable. I got to give Preston Guy credit. At least he admitted it. I saw his tweet. I admit Notre Dame people were right. I respect that. I give him credit. He's out there with it and put it public. I respect that. It's a very humbling time for the LSU media, man, and they deserve what they're getting. They were all dead wrong. They were just all wrong, man. And if you want to be a person that puts yourself out there boldly, like they all did when he was hired, the chickens come home to roost, and it's going to be a rough week for you. So, but I laugh when I log in and I see what went wrong for Kelly at LSU. How would any of you know? You were all finding every excuse in the world to cover for the guy for 3.5 years, and now I'm going to listen to you tell me what went wrong. You blindly supporting the guy and making excuses for him is a part of what went wrong, instead of asking tough questions and holding the guy accountable all along. This bothers me till no end. The LSU podcast, they're unlimited. I found a new one and they were saying it's just so confusing how he had that first big win against Alabama in year one and then it went downhill. That doesn't make sense. They're still not understanding it. He got that win because he wasn't there long enough to ruin the whole culture yet in year one. He wasn't there long enough to ruin all the vibes and everything and make it not fun to play football again. He wasn't there long enough to do that year one. It's a very simple equation. I've seen some other people say, Pat talked about this on the Monday morning show. I've seen some other people say, like, culture wasn't a big problem or whatever. I agree with Pat. I would argue it's the number one problem. Him not understanding their culture, trying to fit in when he doesn't, and then having the personality he does and treating people the way he does, and his sideline demeanor and his interview demeanor and his donor demeanor and all that. You erode the culture from a foundational level and everything else starts to crack. Like your concrete driveway that needs to be redone. It all started with a cultural problem with his whole thing. And the tentacles of that reached into the locker room, into the alumni, into the donors, into the media, everywhere, into the assistant coaches. It was all a culture problem. It was all a culture problem. So I don't know. And then it's what comes next for Brian Kelly. I heard one LSU media outlet, might have been one of the newspapers or some that has podcasts, and they said they heard he's still looking to coach. That's really interesting. Where's he going to go? I brought up jokingly the Penn State thing. They're as unlikable of a group as there could possibly get, and so is he. Might be the perfect unlikable marriage. The issue there is hiring Brian Kelly is basically like hiring James Franklin again, but with a worse personality. Franklin's was pretty bad. Kelly's is worse. So you're getting the same big game failures and a worse personality if you did that. But seriously, where would Kelly go? The problem is, I think his ego won't allow him to take a job he perceives to be below him. Notre Dame was at a certain level. LSU's at a certain level. I don't see the guy taking a job that he perceives is below him. So if he wants to coach again, I don't know where he ends up. 64 years old, does he really want to take over a program that's struggling and have to rebuild it for a bunch of years? That just seems unlikely to me that he would want to take that kind of project on at 64 years old. And the way this all ended, he's going to go rebuild what, Michigan State? Like, what are you going to rebuild Stanford? I don't. Florida State, Florida. Does he want to go to Florida and try it? You have the same pressures at the SEC, but with less infrastructure support than you just had at LSU. So if he wants coach again, I just don't know how that looks and where he goes that he doesn't perceive as being below him. And the way this ended, he's probably like has an axe to grind. Well, if you take over a fledgling program, your record isn't going to be good for a couple years. What do you want to do all that rebuilding? You're 64. You're rich. No one likes you. I'm telling you this right now. I think the best fit for him is media. You have his agent shop around all the big outlets. I think he would be interesting in media. Follow me. It feeds his ego. He could still be relevant in college football, be important. It'll feed his ego. He can make some good coin, make some good money, multi-millions a year with most of those jobs. Okay. And here's the other part. Plenty of golf. The schedule allows for you to golf without everybody giving you a hard time for it. Seriously, you can golf as much as you want and no one will give you a hard time for that. Okay. But hear me out. A part of me thinks with Kelly, the lightning rod he is, and the evidence of that is every reporter in America having something bad to say about Brian Kelly, no matter what school they represent or conference or anything else, and every former player coming out of the woodwork, not liking the guy, right? Whatever. He's so damn polarizing. I wonder what it would be like when he's no longer linked to any team and he could just sit up there and talk about football. I don't know whether it would be the same boring coach speak you get from him where he says a lot but says nothing, or if he could really let it rip and give you some juicy tidbits once he's not linked to a team that everyone wants to see fail because he's running it. I could see that being interesting because he's such a lightning rod. And I just don't feel like you have guys that create that kind of social unrest that are up there on those panels. Most of them are very vanilla, or like Saban's been anointed as the Pope, so he's up there. But like, I just think it would be really interesting if he let it rip, honestly, on those panels. It would be a new way to see the guy. Maybe he could change some of his image trying to do that. I don't know. It's an uphill battle because I have learned through this, no one likes him. No one likes him, man, except for his investment banker and his agent, right? So here's where I think this comes from. And I've thought this for a long time with his whole bizarre existence. I feel like the guy, for all of his relative success in the world of football, I still think he's been insecure. And that is manifested in him changing these personalities to fit what he thinks it needs to be, rather than just figuring out who he is and going with it. You had red face, purple face Brian Kelly phase at Notre Dame. You had BK Homeboy where he tried to be cool with the guys. Then you had CEO at the end of Notre Dame, standoff CEO, let the other guys do stuff. Then at LSU, it's been ultra CEO from everything I've learned. They don't seem to think he did a lot. And you're just kind of standing there, and then you let the coordinators do their thing, but every time they do something you don't like, you're screaming at them on TV. It's like, so I just think that's what's going on here. I just think he has a little insecurity about it being comfortable with who he is. And he's a chameleon, and that's how you end up with a fake accent when you move down south, trying to fit in. So I don't know, man. It is the most bizarre thing, but this every single tweet on my Twitter feed is someone else ripping Brian Kelly. It's absolutely amazing. I've never seen anything like it. Let's bring this full circle. We talk about all these coaching changes and all the shit going on all over, all of this. Marcus needs to win a title at Notre Dame soon. Things change fast. Well, you got a good thing going. You got to figure out a way to win this championship before anything else changes or something goofy happens. I don't know what, but all of this like instability with like, there's going to be like 14 or 15 brand name helmets, probably jobs that are coming open. And I'm not worried about Marcus leaving. It's just making me think. Like Goolsby always says, Freeman ain't going to be here forever. You better get one of these years, got to be the year before you're out of years and things change. Get to 10-2, get in that playoff, look at it as a free spin after an 0-2 start, roll the dice and go for it. Let them hang, let it rip, and go for it. Lay it all out there. Throw everything at it. Throw the kitchen sink at it. I would look at it as like a bonus reel spin, man. After the 0-2 start, the way that started, if you get in this thing, let it rip. Bonus spin. Maybe you sneak up on people. I don't know. So this has been an amazing social experiment. And the takeaway is no one likes this guy. And he has found a way to rub every different contingent wrong for different reasons. I guess at the end of the day, man, you're filthy rich. I guess he wins in the end. Probably got all the friends he needs, right? Family, and you're rich. That guy could just go golf the rest of his life and be fine. It is the wild mind of Brian Kelly, but let me know what you guys think. No one likes him.